And welcome to Advanced Shouting. My name is Noel Fogelman, alongside my good friends Dan Petru and Michael Vartan.
Good friends.
Good friends. My buddies, my Thunder buddies. Yeah, we actually made it to episode 4, so congrats on us. We got a busy show. We have AJ Mleczko from MSG Networks and NBC Sports, as well as Jeane Coakley from SNY. Talk a little football with them, but let's start with NHL, of course, because seems like they can't do anything right. It was evident last Friday. I mean, we all knew this was gonna happen.
What a disaster.
Yeah, we all knew this was going to happen. I mean, Team E that eventually did win, the slotted team, had a 2.5% chance to win the lottery. Sure enough, they did. I know, Michael, congratulations on getting the second pick, though.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that because you just got yourself a franchise center.
Yeah.
But Team E, it's funny because I texted you guys. Remember, I said I'm rooting for Team E.
Yeah,
You did.
yeah. But the thing is, like, it made no sense why the league could not wait until after the qualifying round. What was the rush in having the lottery when they did?
Well, you know, I think the biggest adversary sometimes of the NHL is the NHL itself. Their own competition, it seems. I guess what they'll tell you is, look, we need to get our scouts out there. But what are they scouting? Because there's no. I don't know. You can't say, well, we need to plan, blah blah blah. No, they could have waited because you can have the draft whenever. It's arbitrary. You have to assume that what happens if they don't play these games too? I guess how do we decide Team E? Do all teams go into the mix? But I feel bad for Alexis Lafreniere because he doesn't know where he's going yet. Oh, he's probably going to a better team than he thought he was going to go to.
Sure.
I'm sure it'll be Pittsburgh or Chicago. We know that's going to happen. Or the Rangers.
Yeah.
But it just would have made sense just to wait another month, right? You could have waited another month and did that.
If he goes to Toronto, I'm going to be really mad. Not because I have anything against Toronto, but
no, we did. No, we'll be mad.
Yeah.
It's just the system. The way it's.
No, you hate Toronto again. You hate.
I don't hate Toronto.
No, the Islanders are like your second team. So if they're going to be your second team, then you got to hate Toronto.
No. Let me
guys hate the Leafs that much? I would think it's Rangers and.
You know that guy who's their captain?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like over the years, like
Remember Darcy Tucker?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Come on, Darcy Tucker. But let me ask a question.
It's ridiculous.
I know, Michael. I know you don't have to worry about it because your team didn't make the qualifying round and you got the second pick. But teams that didn't make the qualifying round and may not have a chance to advance, would you rather tank or get the first round pick or advance as far as you can in the playoffs? What would you guys rather have?
Well, we kind of talked about it the other day. Here's my take on it. I would not tank because if you tank, you still only have a 4% chance of getting them?
12.5.
12.5.
12.5.
Yeah, every team has 12.5%. So
all right, so it's not great odds, when you're talking about. Well, I guess TV revenue is not going to be great for this whole fiasco that we're about to watch, if we watch it at all with the pandemic exploding. But I would not want to tank. I don't think I would because you're guaranteed nothing. If you were guaranteed to have him, then sure. But try and make a run. All of these teams haven't played in 4 months. Anyone can get hot, and there's a lot of really intriguing series. I'm like Phoenix is going to give Nashville all they can handle. It's going to be fun. Edmonton, Chicago is a great series. Vancouver, Minnesota is kind of a yawner, but that's a total coin flip. Islanders, who are you guys playing? Carolina?
Panthers.
Panthers. That's going to be a great series. A team that can't score and a team that lets in too many goals. So it's going to be fun. We'll see what happens.
I think it depends on the team. If you feel like you can make obvious, look, none of these players are going to say, "Hey, let's tank out of the playoffs." No one is, of course not. But if you're a team like the Islanders, and you need a winger and you need a franchise winger, which you're not going to get on the open market, and also a franchise winger potentially that you only have to pay like $1 million for 3 years.
Yeah.
Then it's no one's going to tank. Lou Lamoriello is not going to say we're tanking, but I think there are teams that could really, really use that player. That'd be like, okay, this is a pretty good consolation prize if we don't win.
It's a calculated risk, but I mean, it's not in the hockey player's DNA to tank. You know, I know at the end of every year, when we get close to the end of the season and teams are clearly out of it, there's a lot of talk about tanking, but once they get on the ice, those guys want to win. They're competitors, you know, and I don't know. I just hope a team that needs a player of that caliber more than, you know, the Chicago's, Toronto's, Edmonton's, Pittsburgh. If he goes to Pittsburgh, I might boycott the beginning of next year.
Well, question for you, Michael, on the live chats here. Zach wants to know if you think the Kings should take Quinton Byfield, a center, or a defenseman.
Quinton Byfield by far. He's like you said. I think he's a franchise player, and to get to skate with Kopitar for the how many years he has left in his career, to learn how to be a true 200-foot center, and he's a big kid too. So I mean, he that would look pretty good, you know. Kopitar, Byfield, Carter.
Hey, you know what? I just thought we should do a live show during the draft.
Oh yeah,
we should. They haven't set a date yet, so.
If we have,
the only thing I was going to say, Noel, is I heard one of the reasons the NHL had the lottery at that date, that was going to be the original draft date. So
right.
It was kind of like hey, here's a little, you know, Ritz cracker for you guys, but it was weird timing. The whole thing was just weird. When I knew the Kings had a chance to get #1 overall, I did not in a million years expect him to flip that card and see the Kings logo. I was sure it was going to be Team E for sure.
Yeah, and sure enough it was. But let's bring in AJ Mleczko. AJ, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How you doing? You want to? I like the attempt at my last name. That was pretty good, Noel.
Let's go.
It's a tough one. I'll give you that. It's a really hard one.
It's better than we did to poor Brendan Burke when he gave him the wrong month to show up at one of our live shows.
All right. Enough with that one.
It has legs, Noel.
Yeah. All right. So AJ, thank you so much for joining us again. Quick question. Let's talk the lottery first. Why do you think the NHL had it when they did instead of waiting till after the fall?
I mean, you know, I think that right now we, as a population, are just so hungry for sports, for information, for things, and there were so many of us that are looking for information, trying to figure out what to do. We knew July 1st wasn't going to be the free agency frenzy that we expect and want and see. So I think that for them to try to generate a little bit of interest, get people back in the mix, back thinking about hockey again before it starts up again, allegedly on July 10th, we hope, fingers crossed, and then for the training camps, and then playing at the end of the month, and hopefully into August. So I think that's some of it, is just to start the teams but also mostly the fans, just to get back into it. It was really interesting to watch. It was fun to watch. It was exciting. It was I don't love the way they have the first pick hanging in the balance to a team that's playing. Personally, I think one of the teams that's not playing should have a shot, should absolutely not even have a shot. It should go to one of the teams that's not in the playoffs, in my opinion. But, you know, and listening to you guys before talking about teams tanking, you know, Michael, I agree with you. These players aren't wired to tank. Maybe the management is, maybe somebody else is, but when you get on the ice as an athlete, that's just not something that's on your mind. I think the only side that would concern me maybe is that a team, for example, like the Detroit Red Wings, you worry a little bit, maybe they start getting a culture of losing, not on purpose. They're not tanking, but they just get so accustomed to losing that you have a kid like Dylan Larkin, who's such a phenomenal talent. And if he just gets used to losing, that's not something you want. You know, I think they were sub 40 wins at the break. So a team like that, you want to inject them with talent, and you want to give them a shot at that first draft pick.
Do you think that same culture of losing is maybe what's one of the problems that's going on in Buffalo as well?
It could be. I mean, I think that there's such an odd thing, as one thing that we as fans, you know, as a former player myself, but we as fans look at is we try to put rational reasoning into something that's sort of irrational, in the sense that sometimes there's just an intangible. We have no idea why these teams win or lose. You can look at the talent, you can look at the coaching, and all the pieces come together. But for the most part, these teams win and lose based on momentum and team chemistry and things that you can't quantify. So, you take some of these teams and they have all the pieces, but if they don't fit together, then and you can't predict that necessarily, then that could be why they're not working. I mean, Buffalo has incredible talent on that roster, and it's a great city. They've got a great legacy of fans and a great ownership group. And, it's to me, I have no idea why they aren't better.
That's a great point, because you look at teams like like Winnipeg, for instance. On paper, that team they're insane. I mean, Blake Wheeler and Patrick Laine and Kyle Connor, and it's just the list goes on and on and on. And Toronto, same thing. And there's something like, for instance, 2000. I'm talking about the Kings, of course. The 2014 Kings had no business winning the Stanley Cup on paper. They really didn't. It was still, the heavy game was still in favor a little bit, but things were speeding up a little bit, and they just caught fire. And that team that won in 2012 had a chemistry and a bond and something that, like you said, it's you can't feel it. It's an untangible or tangible, what one of the two. But it's something that you either have or you don't. And Buffalo is a mystery to me, because on paper
it's fascinating too, as a former player, where we caught lightning in a bottle in 1998. We had a great team. Don't get me wrong. We had a tremendous amount of talent, but so did Canada. And why did we win on February 17th, 1998? I have no idea. I mean, we worked our tails off, don't get me wrong, but so did our adversaries. So it is it's one of those things but that's what keeps us coming back. That's why we sit here and talk about this stuff. And that's why, you can talk about Toronto. Well, their defense has holes in it. Well, I mean, yes and no. They're still pretty good, and they've got such incredible talent up front. So what is it, and why do they do that? And that's what makes these jobs that these scouts, the job that the scouts have, so hard. I don't know. I love talking to scouts when I get a chance to, and trying to figure out how, just pick their brains about it, because I know this sport. I love it. I follow it. I study it. I analyze it on TV. And yet I think it would be really hard to analyze up and coming talent, and to look at a kid, you're just talking about Quentin Byfield, like, what's he going to be? And how can you look at his talent? How is his puzzle piece going to fit into whatever team he goes to? And you never know that, but that's the fun of it. The lottery, I do, you asked about the lottery, which I went off topic a little bit there, but the lottery to me is fantastic. I think it's great that the NHL has implemented it. To me, I wish that number one draft pick went to a team that needed it more than who it's going to go to.
100%.
And you mentioned the Olympics a couple seconds ago, and you guys had that magical run. Now they're working on the CBA agreement, and the Olympics is part of it. Just how important is it for the players to return to the Olympics?
I think it is. I think every player has their own opinion on it. Every player I've ever talked to wants to represent their country. They want to get back there. I'm interested in my own reaction to it, that I think the players need to get back to the Olympics, and need is the wrong word. I want to see them back at the Olympics, so I really want to see them there. But when they introduced pro players in 1998, that was the Olympics that I played in. So it was the first time women's hockey was in the Olympics, and the first time pro players, NHL players, played in hockey. So it was really interesting. And I didn't like it at the time, because, we're still in the shadow of the 1980 games, where these college kids come together, and it was this magical run. And, there's all there's cynical side of athletes that says it shouldn't be these pros. And then we see what's happened, and you're on the world stage, and you're seeing that the rest of the world are paying athletes in a lot of different ways, and whether it's as professional contracts or not. And if you have a tournament like the Olympics, why on earth wouldn't you have the best players there? And I fully understand and respect Gary Bettman's reserve and the issues that he faces with the owners. And it's not a simple issue. There's so many nuances and so many complications. But it was, I was in Pyeongchang, and it was a wonderful experience. We had a great time, and the players that were there played their hearts out. And that was a great experience and a great opportunity for those guys. But I really hope they can work this out. And I really hope that in 2022 in Beijing that we see NHL players playing for their home country. And I think the players want it. I really do. The players that I've talked to, a 2-week break in the middle of the season, obviously, you see on social media, they're golfing in Hawaii or doing whatever. Obviously, a break is nice in the middle of a long, grueling NHL season. But I'm American, wearing a Team USA jersey, there is nothing more powerful than that.
I have a theory as to why they're not there or why there's even a dispute. Because you look at the American roster now: Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel, Dylan Larkin, just down the middle, Gibson in goal, Hellebuck, Seth Jones, Werenski. I think Canada realizes that we're catching up, and maybe that's why they're not there.
So I have a little bit of an issue with you say catching up, because I think that we've been there, we've been even, but
we're there. You're right. I think we're there too, AJ. You're right.
But I understand your point that it has, Canada has owned the podium for a long time, and so they want to continue owning the podium. And I think Team USA has some. I mean, there are some incredible players that are American born right now, and there have been over the last generation of players. But right now, I agree with you. There's, whether it's the grassroots development that USA Hockey has implemented, or whether it's the US NTTP in Michigan, but there have been a lot of ways that they've been able to promote. I mean, Austin Matthews, mentioned from Arizona. How crazy is that? I love it. But it's, there people are, Shane Gostisbehere from South Florida, and he's playing in the NHL. So we have players now that are playing at the highest levels from really untraditional hockey markets.
Baseball markets, pretty much.
That's right.
The thing I've noticed the most, which I love, is especially during the World Juniors, there countries like or even during World Cup or whatever, but world hockey has grown so much. 20 years ago, Azerbaijan did not have a hockey team. 20 years ago, Switzerland was garbage. 20 years ago, Norway was garbage. And now you watch the World Juniors, and all the kids today are good. The level of hockey around the world. China's got a huge hockey community. Australia's got a huge hockey. It's growing. It's really, and to your point, AJ, it's why not send the best players in the world to showcase the game during that month of the Olympics? It would be a shame not to.
And you mentioned China, how it's growing there, but having the Olympics in Beijing, in Asia, where there are growing markets even outside of China, and to showcase it and to show little boys and girls what the sport, how it can be played, what it's supposed to look like. And you talk about the growth in hockey in general, and we see it in microcosms in women's hockey. Of course, it's only been 22 years since women's hockey's been included in the Olympics, and so watching it grow and watching all these different countries have sports, it's still pretty much a two-headed monster with US and Canada, but you can see these other countries up and coming. And I love the fact that when I was over in Pyeongchang, watching the Korean men's and women's teams play and compete, and knowing that they had been at a tournament in Vietnam playing hockey. I mean, that's so beyond my comprehension, that in those countries that I consider so hot, or whatever the climate is, or whatever the interests in those countries are, they're now latching on to what a great game that all of us are huge fans of, and now everybody's catching on, which I love.
And by the way, there is no better TV than watching USA Canada women's hockey, I gotta say. I mean, that is one of the fiercest, most. You guys are nasty. I mean, you guys are tough. There's obviously immense respect among both teams, but there's a level of just competitiveness that is through the roof. I love it. I love it so much.
Well, it's interesting, I looking at the NHL right now, in unprecedented times, of course, and we're all trying to figure out what this 2020 playoffs is going to look like. And I've heard a lot of people sort of lament the fact that these players get to go into this 3-week training camp knowing who their opponent is, which is bizarre for these men and for these teams and for the coaching management. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I had a 3.5-year training camp, and I pretty much knew my opponent. It was Canada. And so we would train. I mean, and I'm not trying to overlook Finland and Sweden, and believe me, we had incredible games with them, and China too. At one point was really strong. So, but it's funny when I hear people say like 3 weeks to focus on one opponent. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that doesn't seem that crazy to me, but it's so it is. Yeah, exactly. You'll handle it. There's no boredom here. Right. So it is, and it's funny you talk about the TV. I've been on site, either playing or broadcasting at all of the big high-level U.S. Canada games over the last 2 decades, and through the pandemic, NBC showed the 2018 gold medal game, and I watched it. thinking, I don't really, I like live sports. I don't want to know what happened. I found myself sweating. I mean, I'm listening to my voice. My kids are just roasting me. Everything I said, they picked apart. Why'd you say that, Mom? Oh my God, Mom, that was so dumb. But I'm sitting there, I'm sweating, I'm nervous. I'm like, are they going to win? And I'm thinking, I know they won. Why am I so nervous? So it's a incredible rivalry.
Amazing.
Speaking of television setup, with the playoffs about to start, have you found out yet how you guys are going to be socially distancing your broadcast, whether it's NBC or MSG? Is there a plan in place yet for what you guys are going to be doing?
No, not as far as I know. There is a plan in place. I'm on a need to know basis at this point. And my understanding is that there will be very few, if any, broadcasters on site. Obviously, there'll be camera operators there, and the national feeds will feed back to the local broadcast. So NBC will have all of their talent in Stamford at their studios there. Yep. MSG will have their broadcasters in Manhattan at their studios there, taking the NBC feed. And so it's not ideal, and I've heard a lot of grumbling about it. I've done that before. I covered the 2016 summer games doing field hockey off a monitor. I didn't go to Rio. I was in Stamford. So it's not ideal. It's not easy. It's not ideal, but also right now, if we can get live sports on the air, if we can watch these guys play and compete for a Stanley Cup, to me, we all have to make sacrifices. And if it's, I don't think it'll be no fans in the stadiums, in the arenas will be a much bigger deal than the broadcasters being in a studio in Stamford, Connecticut. In my opinion, I think the team that NBC and MSG has put in place, they're such professionals. They'll do a great job. I don't know whether I work for both of them, but both of them have a stable full of incredible talent. So I don't know whether I'll work or not. And but if not, I get to sit back and watch my colleagues do their job, do their magic.
Right, and you mentioned MSG, covering the Islanders. They're in a matchup with the Florida Panthers. Just talk a little bit about their chances in that series.
It's going to be such a good series. I mean, this whole looking at the whole bracket, and I can't tell which series I'm most excited for. I mean, I think the Islanders Florida is a really good one. I know the Islanders so well, so I'm a little bit biased, but in any of these series, I think a goalie can steal it, right? You look at that, and you've got Bobrovsky, who has not had a great series by most accounts down in Florida, but if he comes out of this quarantine back to his old ways, I mean, that could make such an incredible difference for Florida. And then you've got these two chess masters as coaches. You've got Quenneville versus Trotz, and 3 weeks of training camp to get ready for each other. So I think it's going to be fascinating. I think that the Islanders obviously have had trouble on their offense. I think it's incredible that they're hopefully going to have Casey Cizikas back. He's a very underrated player outside of the world of the Islanders. Fans and the team do not underrate him. No one does in the world of Isles hockey, but the rest of the world does. But center and fourth line is, Trotz over and over calls him the identity piece for the Islanders. And he's admitted that he had to change his whole approach and his whole game plan when Cizikas was out of the lineup. So having him back with Clutterbuck and Martin on the fourth line, that will give them some legs. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a great matchup. You asked me what their chances are. I mean, what are anybody's chances coming out of quarantine in a 3 out of 5 series? You don't know. And that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you so much for your time, AJ. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the summer, and whatever production you do this summer, we'll definitely be watching.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I love talking hockey. I feel like my kids are thrilled too that I get to talk about hockey, so I'll be in a better mood for them tonight. So thanks for having me on anytime.
Okay, great. Okay, take care.
Happy 4th.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
All right, she was fantastic.
All right, so that was fantastic.
She knows nothing about hockey.
No, she knows more in her pinky than we all do together.
She's forgotten more about hockey than I'll ever know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. But let's switch gears a little. Some NFL news just came out a couple days ago. Cam Newton signed with the New England Patriots, so poor Jared Stidham doesn't chance. But yeah, joining us now to discuss that and more is SNY's Jeane Coakley. Jeane, how you doing tonight?
Great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. If you hear some kids yelling in the background, not my fault. My husband's going to watch them.
Mom's working right now. It's fine.
Yes.
Jeane, I was full disclosure. Sometimes I direct one of Jeane's shows, which is the Jets weekly show, And I was talking to our producer, Gus, the other day, because this is the first time that Noel and I have really produced the show as opposed to me directing one. And I'm like, this producing thing's pretty easy. To Gus, I was like, Gus, what's your excuse? This isn't that hard.
No, well, it's funny because he must have taken your advice we were talking about, because we did a show today and we talked about kind of the same stuff. So.
Oh, see, look at that. I'll be texting him after the show.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jets. Let's obviously we have to talk about Jamal Adams.
Yes.
It just seems like right now that Jamal Adams and the Jets are two people that are getting divorced, yet they're still living in the same house. How is this going to play out, and what can we expect? Does Jamal Adams play with the Jets this year? And if not, what do you think the likely outcome will be?
Here's the deal. This is a divorce, and they're going to be sleeping in separate bedrooms for a while, but they have kids, so they kind of have to interact and get the job done. Because Jamal Adams, I get he should be paid. I understand why he wants a big contract. He is a game changer. This is a guy who deserves to be being paid more than what he's being paid, but he's still under contract for at least 2 more years. The Jets can franchise him for 2 more years. So the Jets have all the control right now. So I don't really know what he's going to prove. Do I see him sitting out a year? No. So he's going to have to play. And do I see the Jets trading him? Absolutely not, because unless someone wants to back up a truck for this guy and give the Jets a first-round pick, give the Jets a second-round pick, give him a great player, the Jets aren't getting rid of this guy. So I don't really know what's going to happen. I just know that Jamal's going to be a Jet, and he loves football too much. So I don't see him. He could be a thorn in their side, but I see him playing next year with the Jets, and he will get a contract. But with the time period it is right now, I mean, we don't know what the cap room's going to be in 2021. Who's to say there's even going to be football this year? So right. But he's under contract till at least 2021, and the Jets can franchise him. So the Jets have all the control right now.
You also have to trade for him, and then eventually you have to pay him too. So you have to give up the assets, and then you have to back the truck up.
Exactly. And what team is going to do that?
Right.
Granted, he's a great player, but the Jets have control of him right now.
Yeah. The Jets had control of previous franchise players, John Abraham, Darrelle Revis, and those both ended poorly. Mm-hmm. Why do you think this is actually going to be different?
Just because Jamal's still under contract for 3 more years. I mean, if he sits out a year, the Jets still have him for another year and a year after that. He's not going to become a free agent until at least 2022 because the Jets could still franchise him. I just think, like we said, unless he loves football too much, and they have the complete power thumb. He loves Greg Williams. He loves playing in that defense. I think the Jets are going to try to do what they can, but what are they going to do right now? I mean, you can't back up the truck and give him everything he wants. And like I said, unless the Dallas Cowboys is going to come and give them, I mean, I think he's worth at least a first-round pick, at least a high second-round pick, and at least a great player. And like you said, the other team has to pay him. And he wants to go to a team that's going to win. So, right. I mean, unless a team blows them out of the water, I think they're going to try to pacify Jamal Adams.
Right now, I know Jet fans are always on Adam Gase, rightfully, but they were 7-9 last year. Charted, through some bad waters, so to speak. But is there any friction between the two? I
mean, Jamal's a defensive player. Adams is an offensive player.
Right.
Todd Bowles and Mag McCagnon drafted Jamal. Todd Bowles is a defensive minded coach. So the offense and the defense is split, but do they really need to get along, Adam and Jamal, to be honest with you? No. He loves Greg Williams and Greg Williams loves Jamal. So Greg and Jamal, like Greg said, I have his back. I get it. So like I said, I don't think they need to be best friends or lovey-dovey. It's not like Sam Darnold saying, not a big fan of Adam Gase.
Well, speaking of Darnold, because obviously two people that do have to get along, what do you think we can expect from him this year? Because he's shown flashes. Mm-hmm. It looks like he is going to be a franchise quarterback. It looks like he has that talent. What do you think we can expect from him this season? I mean, I definitely think Sam Darnold is a franchise quarterback. I think he was trending upwards at the end of the season. I mean, this is a kid, don't forget, who had mono at the beginning of the year. What? I mean, how many quarterbacks can say, I got mono? Only a Jets quarterback, of course. A guy playing behind and beat up offensive line. He never had a consistent offensive line the entire season. He didn't have any playmakers really. So this is his second year in the league, second offense, since he's been in the league.
So I definitely think Sam Darnold has what it takes to be the franchise quarterback. Joe Douglas promised Sam Darnold's parents, I am going to protect your son, and that's exactly what he's done this offseason. He beefed up that O-line. He got him some playmakers. I still think they need that number one receiver, but they have enough. And don't forget, Chris Herndon's coming back healthy.
Right.
So I think you're going to see Sam Darnold take that next step. He's a leader. He's a good guy. He's a good quarterback. He has a rocket arm. I mean, sure, he makes his mistakes, but he finished the season 6-2 last year. His interception to touchdown ratio went down. He's understanding the concept. He's understanding the game much better, can see it better. And if you get an offensive line where he can actually stand up and not be on his back most of the time, I think you're going to see a different kid. And because he's only 23 years old.
Right.
And they showed good left tackle there at 11 this year. So
yeah, Mekhi Becton, I think he's going to be a big guy. I mean, granted, this whole virtual offseason, the coronavirus is going to mess their chemistry and get that going, but he's a solid player. And you got Connor McGovern, you got some good backups there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, from one quarterback to another, Patriots signed Cam Newton to a one-year deal.
Poor Jets fans.
Yeah. But personally, he hasn't won a game.
I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think it's going to work out. Do you?
Here's the thing. Is he better than Jarrett Stidham or Brian Hoyer? I mean, and I think he's a great gamble. There's a lot of ifs in front of Cam Newton. If he can get back to what he was, if he can do that, if he's back from that Liz Frank injury, shoulder injury. But you got Bill Belichick up there. You have a great offensive mind and you have a great defense up there. So regardless whether or not he's the Cam Newton, he still makes the Patriots better than what they were.
Right. I agree. It's just that Cam he loves to run and he loves to throw deep, and that's just not what the Patriots do. I mean,
but they couldn't do that because you have Tom Brady for the last 20 years. Tom Brady wasn't a mobile quarterback. So what do you think Bill Belichick can do with a mobile quarterback?
Yeah, maybe get him someone to throw to. I mean,
that's a solid point.
No, but it's going to be interesting because it's going to be a systems thing when it comes down to it. So,
but again, you're just like Jets fans are like, finally, the AFC East is open. And I was always telling people, like, until you dethrone the king, like, right. I get it, Tom Brady's not there, but Belichick's still there. Like, the Patriots still dominate the AFC East until someone throws them off, and they're making moves to show that, well, hang on a second. Wait a second.
God, you just got me so pumped. I hope there's a season. Come on, let's go.
I know, right? I know.
All of this stuff is so good.
And it was set up perfectly for the Jets. No Brady. They had another wild card team. And, we get this.
Superman shows up in New England.
But I mean, the AFC East, I think, is going to not be the weaker division as it's been in the past, because Buffalo is strong. I mean, you got Josh Allen, you had a great defense there, and don't underestimate the New England Miami Dolphins. I mean, they got Fitzpatrick and they got Tua, but look what they did last year with nobody. I mean, they beat the Jets, and
they had a good draft.
Yeah, very good draft. All those first round picks. Granted, the AFC East, their schedule is tough. It's brutal.
I haven't checked yet.
Yeah, it's bad.
You don't want to jinx it. It's kind of one of those things like, I'll look when it's official.
Solid point.
and just think, had the Jets beat the Dolphins and the Bengals, they would have made the playoffs last year.
Exactly.
So.
There is nothing better, though. There is nothing better than being in the newsroom when you're losing to the Bengals or the Dolphins and watching Ray Lewis and Bart Scott, right? Janae, you can attest. There's nothing better than watching.
Well, see, I'm at the game going, my gosh, I have to go in this locker room after they just got beat by another winless team. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be begging players, like literally like pawning off my 2 children going, please, I just need 2 bites, just 2 sound bites. That's it, please.
After the Bengals game, like she was sending back like live to tapes, and it's almost like she was apologizing for having to put the microphone next to like, look, I'm so sorry.
Because you always go to the same guys. You got the great guys. And like, to me, when everybody's like, oh, this is a great guy, I'm like, well, to me, the guy who speaks when they lose is the guy who, to me, is like one of the good guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can, anybody can talk after a win.
Yep.
It's the people who talk after brutal losses that you're like, all right, this guy, like Mike DeVito, Sione Buha, like all those guys, like they would come back after brutal losses. So yeah, Brandon Copeland, I think I got that day, and I was like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Three great questions.
but Jeane, thanks for a few minutes tonight. We'll be watching.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully there'll be football. So.
Yeah.
I hope I see you soon, Jeane.
I know. Are you going to be back in the studio or
at some point? It sounds like soon once the Mets get started.
Yeah, I'm going in Tuesday, so
I will see you soon.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Two great guys.
Yeah. All right. So now Jets. Now I'm all depressed now.
Well, you know what's going to make you feel better, Noel?
What?
Listen to me in trivia.
Trivia, yes.
Trivia.
Let's go. Vartan's hosting.
All right, a little trivia. We got some trivia here. Today's question, or trivia, is name every captain on every current NHL team.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Come on, Vartan. This is easy.
Okay. All right.
Noel, you want to go first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go first. All right. Age before beauty, I guess, right? Yeah. Okay.
Age.
Yeah. All right. I will go with Vartan's boy, Kopitar.
Thank you.
I'm just going to go in order. So we'll start with Ryan Getzlaf.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Let's go in order. We go in order.
Fine. Ekman Larson, smartass.
So Boston would be next?
Boston.
Zdeno Chara.
Yeah. Buffalo.
All right. So Buffalo, Jack Eichel.
Yes. Calgary.
Mark Giordano.
Nice. Hurricanes.
Oh.
Okay. So, all right. I got burned by the brothers last time. I'm not doing it this time. I know
Right, brother?
Jordan Stahl.
Nice.
Chicago next?
Yeah, Blackhawks. Easy.
John.
Colorado.
That's Landeskog.
Columbus.
Columbus would be Foligno.
Nice. Dallas Stars.
Oh, damn it. The brothers again. I'm getting burned. Jamie Benn.
If you'd said Jordy, I would have killed you.
I would have jumped out my window.
Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
Detroit. They have no captain, right?
Ooh, look at you with the.
They have no captain.
Swagger, with the swagger.
Yeah.
Right.
Edmonton.
Oh God.
Connor McDavid.
Florida.
Sasha Barkov.
Well, that's not his real name. That's his nickname. So.
Alexander Barkov. I want my future dog name, so it's Sasha Barkov.
We're gonna pass on the Kings. Minnesota Wild.
Ooh. Oh, I know that.
Yeah, it's Mikko Koivu.
Yeah.
Montreal Canadiens.
The problem was I didn't want to say Saku. I know.
Shea Weber.
Yes, sir. Nashville Predators. This is the one that for some reason I was like, oh, who is the captain of Nashville?
Roman Josi.
Yes, he is. Don't make it sound so easy. The Devils.
No captain.
You have to do this. Yeah, thank you. The Islanders. That's going to be tough.
Anderson.
Yeah. The Rangers.
No captain.
Jesus. The Ottawa Senators. Wow.
No captain.
No captain. That's right.
That's pretty good. All right. All right. Philadelphia.
Claude Giroux.
Yeah. Pittsburgh.
Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Think about it.
San Jose. You know what? I would have gotten burned on San Jose. I would have 100% said Joe Thornton because I forgot he got stripped.
Logan Couture.
Yep.
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Alex Pietrangelo. I could never pronounce this guy's last name. And Zach
Pietrangelo.
knows.
Pietrangelo.
Pietrangelo.
Yeah, can never pronounce it. Yeah.
You don't get penalized for tongue twisting. Tampa Bay.
Steve Stamkos.
Toronto.
I guess I should name John Tavares.
No captain.
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Bo Horvat.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Good
Vegas.
One. They don't have no captain.
Too good. And the last two are too easy. Washington.
Ovechkin.
And Winnipeg.
He He knows it.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. So
You know what I should have done? I should have asked you name at least one assistant or alternate captain.
do you have the list in front of you?
No, but I can Google it real quick.
Get it, because that could be our tiebreaker.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
Yeah. Okay. No ties. All right. There's no ties in hockey.
There's no ties in hockey.
We're going to the shootout.
This is the
Going to
shootout.
Oh, boy.
All right.
We get a stick.
This
Okay.
is going to be a lot harder.
Who answered last? No.
I did.
Yeah.
All right. So Anaheim Ducks.
Oh shit. All right.
Three.
They have three, huh? Like no one's left there that I know. Well, is he? I don't know if he's still considered active or not. This is a question. I don't know if he's considered an active player because he was an alternate captain for them. Is Ryan Kessler still considered an active player?
I would say yes.
Okay, then I'm going to go with Ryan Kessler.
That is correct.
Isn't Ryan Getzlav the captain?
No, alternate.
Ryan Kessler.
No, Ryan Getzlav. Isn't he the captain?
Yeah, Ryan Getzlav's the captain. I said Ryan Kessler, alternate captain.
Right. So why are we naming an alternate captain for a team that has a
Tiebreak.
captain?
It's a tiebreak.
Where have you been?
I thought we were doing the vacant ones, the teams that don't have a captain.
Oh no. We're going in order if you have to name an alternate captain. All right. So you're up now for Boston, right? For Boston or no, Arizona.
Arizona.
Alternate captain in Arizona.
There's three.
There's three. Oh my god.
Oh, I got one. He's got to be. He's like the only veteran player they have.
Is Phil Kessel one?
Nice.
I was gonna say Derek.
Derek Span.
Okay.
He's the only one I would have known.
Yeah.
Right.
Boston to you, Danny.
Easy. Patrice Bergeron.
Ooh, Buffalo.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oof. Are there any leaders there?
There's two.
Oh God.
I'm going to say Kyle Post is an A.
He is not.
Undefeated.
It's Marcus Johansson and Jake McCabe.
Oh God, I would have never gotten that.
No.
I wonder why the team.
Yeah, you wonder why. Yeah, that's a great point, though.
But you guys, I mean, yeah, I knew captains was too easy for you guys, but I would not have known all. I would have not. I knew Detroit didn't have a captain. I knew Ottawa didn't have a captain, but the other ones I didn't. I would have just been like, I don't know, so and so. So good job, boys. I
just want to catch up on the live comments here. We thank everybody who's logged on tonight.
Oh yeah.
Someone was interested in maybe an EA gaming session at some point. We can talk a little esports at one point. That sounds like a good idea.
All about that. I love esports.
In Connecticut for a live draft show. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I can't wait to be sausages between two people on a plane with COVID. That's going to be great.
He can stay in Noel's house. They have plenty of room.
That would be super fun.
Oh my God, that would be fun. Who do you guys think the Sens are going to take at 3 of 5? Good question. We'll have a draft preview as it gets closer. You have to think they'll definitely take. They might take, because once you get past 2, there's going to be a run on defensemen. They might take 2 defensemen there because they have tons of young forwards.
Yeah, they're loading up.
Yeah.
I can see that German kid being one. I can't think his name off the top of my head, but I could see him going 3, and maybe 5. Maybe Jake Sanderson. Maybe. I mean, his stock is kind of rising a little bit.
That's Derek's kid, right?
It's Jeff Sanderson's kid. Yeah, my favorite Whaler. Yeah.
God, what a legend!
Because remember, they'll have 3 first-round picks this year.
That's right.
Besides the top,
unless the Islanders win the lottery.
Unless they're Team E, right? Exactly.
That's right. Stick to down Noel, and that's it. All right, good.
I'm in the wrong rundown.
Yeah.
So can I? So, I can't type. Only you can type, right? No.
No. Can you type?
I can't type either. No, I can't. We can't interact with our fans.
We're not as special.
Right, so
you're the
moderator.
You're the golden child.
Yep.
So wait, hold on, let me see. So Michael says you guys are losers. Okay, perfect.
To chat? No.
But yeah, so we didn't really talk too much about baseball. Camps actually opened up.
Sweet.
The Yankees, Yankee Stadium. Garrett Cole is pitched a couple simulated innings, so it's pretty exciting. What's the chance they're actually going to play these games?
10%.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they're going to play. I really do think.
I feel like baseball has the best shot because even though there's a resurgence of the virus right now, from all accounts, this fall is going to be brutal. So if they can get their games in before, let's say, they're going to play 60 games in 63 days, or the other way around. But I mean, we're in July already, so that's.
I also think the owners don't give two shits about their players, so they're just going to say, "Go play."
100%.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Who would have thought that the NHL would come out of this looking kind of like the poster child for organization right now?
Yeah, but there was that interesting tweet the other day. I think actually you sent it to me about an unknown source saying that 75% of NHL players were not really crazy about the idea of coming back. Which was
right. The problem with hockey culture is they're still going to report regardless. That's the problem.
Right.
That's the thing that's got to change. Is they just do what they're told, even when they know that what they're being told probably isn't the best thing for their future.
Right.
Yeah. Even though I think they announced or the proposed CBA that players can opt out and there won't be any penalty. I know that's happening. Some baseball players, Ryan Zimmerman, Mike Leake, also announced that they're not going to play. Do you think if a player opts out, his fellow teammates will kind of hold it against him or no?
I think it depends for what, I mean, like if his spouse is, has a pre-existing condition or something like that, then people, this is beyond sports, obviously. So you have to do what makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel safe. And I don't think they'll get too much grief. Probably from the younger generation, the younger players. Well, come on, man, don't be such a this and that. But this is real stuff we're dealing with. It's not a joke. So, Lori asked, what do you guys think about Antonio Brown possibly heading to the Seahawks? I say, poor Seahawks. Enjoy that headache.
I don't think it was
a shame. That dude, I mean, what a head case, because the talent, that guy, he could.
Seahawks could use him. If we're just talking about X's and O's, the Seahawks could use a player like him with his talent.
1,000,000%. And Russell Wilson is one of the league's best deep ball throwers. I mean, they would light it up. But who wants to take on that potential, explosive personality when you never know what you're going to get?
It's like dealing with Noel every week.
Yeah, who knows? I might hold out next week.
Are you from Seattle?
Now, Lori, let us know where you're from.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Anyway, good show, boys.
Yeah, but actually, before we go, I got two more things. I just booked a general manager who won the lottery. Team E's general manager.
Oh, he's here?
Joining us right now. He's here.
There he is.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, first question. Were you speechless when the card came out with Team E at the lottery?
Wow,
He was.
I seriously didn't produce this segment, as you can tell.
Wow. That's interesting.
It's comical, yeah.
I kill it.
I just want to ask you, as a Kings fan, I'm thrilled to have gotten the second pick. Obviously, first would have been, amazing. But do you feel any shame or any sort of guilt about the situation? No? Oh, cool.
None whatsoever. All right. So, but yeah, thanks for joining us, General Manager, and hopefully we'll see you at the draft.
Yeah, come back when
the second phase.
That'd be great.
Yeah, the second phase of the lottery.
It's
all right.
The worst bit of all time.
Terrible. But speaking of that,
no, it's good.
Hey, you think you watch it, you think you saw that? Wait till what you're about to see right now.
Yeah. So I guess everyone says we're in the golden age of television right now.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Great TV shows, although I think Alias was probably on top of the first couple seasons.
Okay,
but
moving on. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Go to work.
So speaking of, like, maybe this was 40 years ago, this was probably the greatest moment in the history of television. I'm not going to say anything else.
Just say. Yeah, let's clip.
Watch this.
Yeah.
If it ever comes on.
I know you're the worst.
I warned you. She's a KGB agent. What?
The man is mad.
He's telling the truth. She's a communist agent. Come to kill you.
Dr. Tessa, drop it. You do that. Blow his brains out.
Do it anyway.
Good quality, man.
Mel,
You can't see it. It's like dialogue.
Oh, here comes the parrot.
This is terrible. It's like dialogue.
Have you ever seen a show of parrot before?
Oh my god. I mean, yeah, cut it. It's too painful.
Yeah.
It's like stop motion. It's like an 8-year-old doing stop motion film school.
I mean,
That's a buffering issue.
yeah. Anyway, you can find it on Twitter or YouTube, or it's worth watching. It's literally a 20-second clip, but
You just search like Magnum PI killer parrot, maybe.
a parrot, and actually, the parrot is a KGB agent.
yeah.
It's a little.
When I
Yeah,
first saw it, I legitimately thought it was it was a spoof. It could not possibly be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie,
When
now-
you're watching,
Jackie asked, "What did I just witness?" I don't know either, but no,
Yeah.
produced these last two little bits, so you can see why the quality went downhill.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
No, but is this a 56K show?
Yeah, seriously, are you
Wait.
using dial-up in Trumbull? You're not that far away from
hold
it.
on. Yeah. I think Zach has to get on dial-up. Hold on. I got to insert my AOL 8.0 disc. Hold on.
Yeah, remember the discs?
Yeah.
You-
How bad was the quality for that?
oh, it's
Was it
horrible.
really-
It
Oh,
was
it was frame by frame, like not good at all.
terrible.
All right, it's season 1. We're still workshopping things.
Yeah,
Okay,
the nice thing about starting now when there's no actual sports is we're just kind of working out the kinks. So by the time
Yeah.
sports actually happen 3 years from now, we're going to be a well-oiled machine.
Absolutely.
Guys,
All right, but yeah, before you go, make sure you subscribe to YouTube channel. We're on
Yeah,
Twitch. We're on Facebook. Everywhere. Send us an email. Let us know what you think about the show. Any suggestions, guests, trivia. Tell Dan to get a different T-shirt. Anything. We're here, and we'll see you guys next week.
Happy 4th, everyone. Be safe. And
happy belated Canada Day to our friends up north.
oh, that's right. That was yesterday, right?
Please let us in.
No one's letting us in. The EU even banned us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Canada, let us in.
yeah, please. All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Take care.